For 5 days, I didn't eat. No food, no calories, just water. Not because I had to, but because I thought to myself, what would happen? We live in a world where comfort is everywhere. Food is readily available and discomfort is avoided. And so, I wanted to lean into that. I didn't do this to prove anything to anyone else. I did it because I wanted it to be an experiment. So many of us spend our lives watching other people live. Their routines, their successes, their experiences. I didn't want to watch anymore. I wanted to experience. Yes, you don't have to do a 5-day fast. It's extreme, but I challenge you to do something difficult. Something uncomfortable, something that makes you curious about who you really are, what you're made of. Because the moment you stop watching other people's lives and you start creating your own experiences, that's when everything changes. This wasn't about weight loss or wanting to punish my body or being extreme. Instead, I wanted to understand my body better. I want to feel what hunger actually feels like, not cravings, not boredom, and not eating out of habit. We're so used to eating on schedule, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and I started to wonder how much of that is biology and how much of that is just plain habit. Before I get into my experience, it helps to understand what actually happens to the body during a fast. In the first 24 hours, your body burns through stored sugar. By days 2 and 3, insulin drops and your body shifts into fat burning mode. By days 4 and 5, you're running almost entirely on stored energy. Everything slows down. Digestion, movement, and even thought. You're no longer eating for fuel. You're relying on what your body already has and how well you handle discomfort. Now, there are a ton of videos from researchers and doctors that go deep into the science of fasting. Now, I'm not here to explain everything, but some of the most commonly talked about benefits include improved insulin sensitivity helps your body use energy more efficiently, which matters for endurance, focus, and avoiding crashes. Now, fat adaptation teaches your body to rely on stored fuel, which is useful for long efforts and overall metabolic health. Autophagy is basically your body cleaning out old or damaged cells, kind of like a reset button. Reduced inflammation can mean less wear on the body and quicker recovery. And maybe the biggest one out of them all is learning the difference between feeling hunger or just eating out of habit. I have clips I recorded of myself through days 1 to 5 of how I felt in real time during the fast. You can tell I'm very uplifted, ready to take on the challenge, and then towards the end, you'll see days 4 and 5 are a lot more difficult and I look a lot more exhausted. One thing I want to mention before going any further is what I actually supplemented with during the fast. Honestly, I kept it very simple. The main thing I focused on was water and electrolytes. I drank around 4 liters of water a day and I added Celtic salt to help replace the sodium. I supplemented with magnesium every night to not only prevent cramps, but to help me sleep. And I added potassium tablets about every 4 hours throughout the day. And lastly, I did have about 10 ounces of black coffee every morning just to prevent any migraines from the caffeine withdrawal. Now, obviously, everyone's body is different, and so this is not medical advice. This is just what I did. Day 1 was honestly easier than I expected. I felt focused, motivated, and you'll see in the videos I look quite excited. Alright guys, today is day 1 of my 5-day fast. Started the morning off with just black coffee. I prepared water with Celtic salt for the day, so I'll just be drinking that. I heard day 1 is easy because you're really motivated. I also read that usually these hunger strikes go away within 20 minutes or so. By day 2, my hunger started to fade away. And not only that, but I felt like my mind was beginning to feel quieter. I was drinking a ton of water, keeping my electrolytes up, and just things seemed more manageable. But knowing very well from my research that this part of the challenge wasn't going to be the most difficult.
Good morning, day 2. Feeling pretty good. Yesterday was pretty mild. I'll be honest, I was expecting it to be a lot worse. But I mean, they do say day 1's easiest. Yeah, day 2, having my morning coffee, that's gonna push away my hunger appetite. I got my 9 hours of sleep last night, keep the motivation high. Today I'm drinking Fiji. Yeah, I'm going all in today. I could drink from tap water or filtered water, but I feel like, honestly, it's so satisfying drinking from bottled water. Just the cap size is just, you know, much more comfortable. In each one of these I'm putting about a 1/4 teaspoon of Celtic salt. So I'm using this one here. This is the label if you're interested. Yeah, I think energy is still high. Yesterday I was experiencing some, I wouldn't say shivers, but I was feeling cold. I could tell that I was like fatigued and a little bit cold. I had some brain fog. I definitely, like, I would be doing something and then be like, wait, that's completely wrong. Like, that is not what I should be doing. And then I catch myself.
Very low energy, a ton of brain fog, and just no motivation.
All right, so it is day 3. As you can see, I'm still smiling. If I was to give you any update, I would feel like not much has changed between day 2 and day 3. But drank my morning this coffee, but I wasn't even drank my morning this coffee, you know, like I was just kind of forcing it down because I didn't want to get a migraine. So I just kind of forced it down, but I wasn't craving coffee at all. And so I feel like I haven't stopped craving food. It's just I'm not hungry. So I was, you know, sometimes I'll be on social media or watching a show and then I see someone eating food and right away I'm like, damn, I would really like to eat some of that right now. I don't really enjoy drinking it. I'm kind of getting so tired of that taste where I just enjoy drinking normal water. So that's something I have to get accustomed to, is just not, yeah, just forcing myself to drink the salt water because I know it's better for me. To be honest, I haven't really felt any weakness. I'm just kind of more so just kind of over everything.
Days 4 and 5 is where things began to change. I wasn't starving. I was just tired. Sleep wasn't great. And worst of all, even drinking water felt like an effort. This is the exact point where the challenge no longer was a physical one, but it became a mental one. And then, you know, I started to realize that so much of our life is surrounded around stimulation. And so when you take away something like food and you're just with yourself, it's you can't describe that feeling. Day 4 was pretty lazy. Honestly, I didn't feel like doing much. Energy levels definitely quite low. I'm not as enthusiastic about the day, but I would say it's definitely good to get out. I feel like the day goes by much quicker when you're out about doing stuff. Makes you think less about, you know, the fast. I would say too, one thing I want to mention is last night, or the last 2 sleeps have been kind of difficult because I've been having to go pee every 2 hours. So I have like a digital clock in my room, and so every time I wake up, I take mental note of it, and honestly, it's bang on. Almost every 2 hours, I have to go pee. In hindsight, maybe I should be taking a little bit more potassium every 4 hours, but maybe that might not be sufficient enough. Not getting any cold shivers like I did in the first 3 days. I wouldn't say I'm hungry, but I would say my brain knows that eating would solve this feeling of being energy deficient. So it's not that I'm craving, like I don't look at food and then I'm like, wow, I want to eat that because it would taste good. It's just, it would relieve this feeling of being so just low energy. And then also I have been drinking the water, of course, which is getting a little bit more difficult to drink. I'm just not, I don't have like the willpower to drink anymore, to just drink all that water. I mean, I know I need to, so that's why I'm forcing it myself. But I feel like the further that I go on, the less water I'm drinking, which is not good. And I feel like that's probably what's leading to me being a little bit more exhausted. It's because I'm just not drinking enough water. Day 5 was by far the most difficult. Not because I was hungry, but because I was anxious and everything just felt heavy. Honestly, I felt like I was sick. My body was just depleted, my energy was low. Now, what surprised me the most about this challenge wasn't the physical aspect, but the mental one. This 5-day fast showed me how I was programmed, how quickly I would reach for food to avoid discomfort or distractions.
Now, it's really crazy to think about that I actually survived the 5-day fast. It was definitely difficult. I was really fatigued a lot throughout the day. Like, I felt low energy. I was just slugging around. I would say I didn't have much stomach hunger, but like I said, fatigue. Like, taking a shower was super difficult for me. Just putting on my clothes. I had to always just distract myself. I had to distract myself from the fatigue I felt. Feel like I'm sick, that's how I feel. I think it's because my body knows that I'm gonna get food tomorrow. My brain knows, it's all connected. Playing the last 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, day 4, day 5 on the weekend, because if I had to work, it would be difficult. I thought maybe getting out would help. Went grocery shopping with my mom, went to the mall. It didn't help to take my brain off of the fatigue. I tried to take a nap and I just wasn't able to. My toes would numb really easily. Like, I don't know, I would just be kind of laying in bed and on my phone, and then my toes would go numb, and then I'd be holding my phone up, and then my fingers would go numb. Shook me a little bit. Then I'm about to go into the grocery store, buy the foods I'm about to eat for tomorrow morning. I'm gonna have around 500, 800 calories, probably closer to 800. I'm gonna have 3 meals. I love how I'm calling them meals, but they're literally gonna be like snacks, basically. First, in the morning, I'm gonna wake up around 5 to 6, and I'm gonna eat about 1 to 2 cups of fruit. That's gonna be strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries. And then about 20-30 minutes after I eat that, I'm going to eat 2 eggs, a slice of cheese. I'm trying to keep the protein below 20 grams. And then I'm going to eat about half a cup of yogurt, which is just plain yogurt. Third meal is just going to be half a cup of rice with about 30 grams of cooked chicken. So I'll probably throw in there maybe half an avocado. Day 1 and 2, very highly motivated. I'm drinking a ton of water. Day 3 was Friday. You know, it's starting to get to me because I'm like, wow, I have to just survive Friday. Just survive Friday.
I'll also include a clip of me breaking the fast the morning of. As you'll see, a lot of anxiety leaves my body. I have finished the 5-day fast. Today is Monday morning. It's about 6 a.m. Last night was difficult for me to sleep. My body just knew food was on its way. So I just want to record my first bite after 5 days. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. It feels like I'm doing something illegal. Okay, that was my first strawberry. Some raspberries here. It just takes away a lot of anxiety, I feel like. Just eating. It's weird because I'm not really hungry. I'm just eating it because I know I'm done my fast. Sour grape. Grapes, man. One thing that I'll take away from my 5-day fast is that it's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to seek it out because sometimes it's not as dangerous as you think, and if anything, it'll only be informative. Most of the limits that we believe are self-imposed. You can really achieve anything if you just put your mind to it. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching till the end of the video. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you think you'd be able to survive a 5-day water fast.